You don't go out and shoot the wad on your first truck. You don't go out and spend $200,000 on your first truck. As a new owner-operator, you make some decisions. This is what I want to do and this is how long. So a good number for your first truck based on 2021 or 2020 and 2021 standards, your first truck will probably cost you anywhere between $55,000 and $65,000. And with that, most of the companies are going to want 10% down. If you're lucky, you can get it 5% down, but most of them want 10% down. So now you're looking at, $5,500 to $6,500 as your down payment. And you have to figure into the equation, where am I going to be working? Does that company have the miles and the work that I can sustain a payment of this amount? You have a $60,000, let's say you have a $60,000 truck, you buy a $60,000, there's going to be tax on top of that. There's administration fees, there's a whole bunch of things that go with that. By the time you got a $60,000 truck, you've now got a $70,000 truck after everything's done. Now how quickly do I want to pay that off? Do I want to pay that off in a 2-year lease? Do I want to pay it off in a 3-year lease? Do I break it out to 5 years? The longer your lease, the less your payment's going to be each month, but the more interest in term you're going to pay. In the end, you take a $60,000 truck and lease it out for 5 years. By the time you made the last payment, you've paid for that truck twice over. If you break it down into a shorter payment, you maybe to make a higher monthly payment, but break it down into say a 3-year lease, which I suggest. If you're going to go as a new owner-operator, make your first deal 3 years. So you need to find a company that's going to sustain you with a payment of anywhere from $1,800 to say $2,000. That's a comfortable number. You can run and make that kind of money and sustain yourself. So the first vehicle, again, it's all up to you as well. It's how hard do you want to work? If you're a single guy and you're living by yourself, you don't own a house, you don't have kids, you don't have a wife, hey, go buy a big truck, get a $5,000 a month truck payment, and live in the truck. Guys do it all the time. Would I do it? I don't suggest it. I don't do it. My payment is where I need it to be for the life that I live to sustain my family and work for a company. I was green. I didn't have a whole lot of people there to help me to pick, but I guess I got lucky because the first truck I had was just a small Kenworth, and I was terrified. It was really intimidating having to deal with sales guys, and my first truck was $42,000. And back then, in 2006, that was a lot of money for me, and that was a lot of a commitment to do. That was a day cab, 2.5 years of driving the day cab. I then went to a highway unit, so it was a bigger truck with the sleeper, and again, it was more money. It was another newer truck, so it was more money, and again, but you learned some lessons of what you didn't do right the first time when it came to purchasing the truck or leasing the truck, and the options and the specifications of the vehicle or what you're going to be doing with it. So you kind of apply a little bit of that, what you've learned, to the next one, and so much and so forth. And then after that, I bought the third truck, another highway. The rest of them are all highway trucks, and it's the same thing. And the truck I'm in now, I'm just about finished with. And I'll be transitioning out of this truck probably shortly and into another new truck, hopefully my last truck, the one I'm going to retire out of. When I buy the last truck, it's going to be spec'd the way I want it. I'll have it what I want: transmission, differentials, fuel tanks, everything, motor, horsepower, all the little intricacy things that make up the truck, so that your truck is best equipped for the job that you're doing. Things that I didn't know years and years and years ago that I know now, that actually by doing so and knowing these and applying these will save you money, because you'll have the right truck for what you want to do. The Peterbilts are well built, the Kenworths are well built, they're nice trucks, but they're not what I want they're not equipped, and they're not the best truck for doing what I want to do. The Volvos are more aerodynamic. I find, and this is just my personal opinion, and some of it is market, but the motors on the Volvos are more efficient. You get better mileage out of them, you get better wear out of them, they drive better, and they're comfortable trucks. I just want to be comfortable in my last truck.